Today I'll be building a camper in Bloxburg. For this build, you're going to use a lot of basic shapes. So if you do not have the game passes, you're going to want to get those before you watch this. So the height I want this camper or RV to be, I want it to be about 5 blocks high.
Daddy, chill.
And possibly 2.25 width. You're going to want to duplicate the floors that you put down. I'll explain later why you're going to want to duplicate this floor. Go ahead and grab your adjusting tool and kind of adjust it off the ground to your liking. And you're going to want to make sure everything lines up perfectly. Now for this top half, you're going to go ahead and align it to the flooring. But you're going to kind of shrink it just a little bit. Okay, perfect. Now you're going to take another basic shape and you're also going to resize this to become the wall. The reason why I told you to shrink it is because this is where you're going to place the wall at. And I'm probably going to resize this to being about maybe 2.5 blocks high. If you want an example, you can just go ahead and place a fridge, or you can grab your Bloxburg character. Doesn't matter. Now I'm going to copy and paste this wall on the other side. Now I'm going to readjust this wall and leave a gap here in the middle because this is where the door is going to be. I'm just doing the other side of the wall. It's going to add another basic shape, and I'm just going to resize this with the wall as well. Now all I did was copy the floor and I'm just going to raise it. What do you mean I can't raise this? Bloxburg, come on now. Bloxburg isn't going to let you raise it as high as you want. There's a limit. So wherever that limit is, that will be your actual ceiling. You're gonna copy this, paste it on top of that basic shape. You're gonna resize this again, and this is gonna be your roof. Ignore the gap. You're not gonna be able to see it whenever the build is finished. And you're just gonna repeat this process for the other side of the camper. So this is what it should look like so far. It should look like just a regular box. And for the door, I'm gonna use a smooth cube. Just size it up with the door as best as you can. And then you're just gonna readjust it. And just like that. Now on the front side, I'm gonna add this convex straight shape. I'm gonna fix it in the middle. I'm gonna try readjusting it in the center. Then I'm just gonna resize this, just like that. So I'm gonna add another basic shape and I'm gonna readjust it so it can be a step to get in. So it can be a step to get inside the camper. And just so it can look a little bit more realistic, I'm just gonna add these structurals to give that illusion that the step is coming out of the camper. And for the wheels, I'm just gonna use this horizontal cylinder, and I'm just gonna use these as the wheels. I just realized there's no front wheels on a camper. There's like a hinge or whatever. So I'm just gonna use this vertical cylinder. Resize this with the height of the camper. With the structurals rods, I'm just gonna grab the edge of the camper and stick it onto the cylinder. And this is what it's supposed to look like. I go ahead and paint the exterior of my camper. I made the whole thing white and this right here linen. There is no like decals for campers in Bloxburg. I'm just gonna pretty much design it using basic shapes. Decorated the bottom part. I'm just gonna repeat this on every side. Now that I have all of the edges done, I'm gonna go ahead and add a slanted roof right here that extends out to kind of create like a patio almost. And by doing that, I'm gonna use a smooth cube, slant it a little bit to give that realistic effect. And I'm just gonna take these structurals at the edge of the build and kind of just connect them to the camper. And you're just gonna place it at each end. Before I forget, I'm also gonna place this right here. I'm gonna rotate it. Okay, that looks a lot better in my opinion. Now I'm gonna place these thick structural beams. I'm gonna make this black. I'm also gonna make this linen. I'm just gonna wrap this all the way around. Honestly, I feel like it'll look better if it was white. And you're gonna add more structural beams, and you're just kind of gonna match this. Try lining up as evenly as possible. And you're just gonna do this all the way around the RV. Okay, so after you finish texturizing the basic shapes, you're just gonna go ahead and add a handle for the door. I'm gonna make these wheels black. Probably gonna use a decal. You're not gonna be able to put lighting in or outside of the camper. The only way to put lighting is you're gonna type in string lights, and you can just choose one of these, and you'll be able to kind of just hang lights up around your RV. So a lot of people like to decorate the outside of their camper or RV either with like a blanket or a rug or something. This yellow is like hurting my eyes. Now I'm just adding this lawn chair. Just adding this outside table. And I'm just gonna change the material to wood to kind of match the aesthetic I'm going for. I'm just adding this other side table. I'm gonna put a lantern on here. I'm gonna add more on the outside, but I'm gonna go ahead and begin on the inside. So the reason why I went ahead and changed I add 2 layers to the roof and the flooring is because you don't want to match entirely of the outside. If I'm gonna want the flooring to be wood, it won't register on the outside. So it literally looks like it's just inside. You see? And if you want to go the extra mile and decorate the walls, you can by adding another basic shape to mimic the walls, but I'm just gonna add a ton of posters and appliances, so it's really not gonna make much of a difference. But as for the lighting, I'm gonna go ahead and add these strips in here just so I can see a bit better. So I was thinking this side of the camper, I'm gonna make a bed, and this other half of the camper is gonna be like the kitchen. But what I'm gonna do for a bed is I'm gonna add a smooth basic shape down and resize it a little bit. And then I'm gonna make this just white. And I'm just gonna add sleeping bags for the actual bed. And I'm gonna place another basic shape. Down here is where I'm gonna want the drawers to be. Now for the handle, I'm just gonna use this small round rod. And I'm just gonna place a little handle right there. I'm gonna also color these just gray. Now I'm just gonna be placing these pillows and I'm just gonna resize them. This actually looks so comfortable. So right now I'm just adding some blankets. As you can see, they're kind of sticking out. So I'm gonna go ahead and shrink these. Now I'm just gonna add this blanket. That looks so good. Period. This is it right here. So I'm finished with the bed. So in this area, I want this to be the kitchen. So right here in this corner, I want there to be the fridge. And we can just color this white. And right here, I just want there to be a counter and another counter. Here can be the microwave. The oven can go right here. And the sink can go right here. And here we have the kitchen. Okay, so out of structural beams, just because it's bothering me, I'm gonna make these like the wall trim, as if you were in like an actual house, because you can't put actual wall trims on basic shapes. So I'm just gonna make these, and we're just gonna pretend these are wall trims. Cause it's just bothering me. I probably should have done it before I started putting everything in here, but it is what it is. I feel like if I add some decals of just hanging plants, I feel like it would look really good. So right now I'm readjusting this basic shape so it can fit as a shelf. I'm just gonna do the same thing on this side. Now I'm just gonna add this pot, these spatulas. On this side, I'm probably just gonna add mugs. In this corner, I'm just gonna add some bowls, some salt and pepper, these jars, and I'm also gonna resize these jars. The rows right here. And right here, I'm gonna add a little mat for you to wipe your feet off when you get inside. And the trash can go just right here. Now I'm just gonna add some posters. I'm also gonna add these picture frames for like wallpaper. I'm gonna add this, I'm just gonna add a shelf. Now I'm just gonna put like necessities such as like girly things. Here we have the RV. So right when you walk in, you'll be able to see the kitchen. And then when you turn to the right, you'll be able to see the bedroom. Here's the RV from the outside. I honestly think it came out very, very good.